Hello and welcome back to Blackcomb Medical and of course Project Hospital. Before we get too far into today's episode, someone pointed out that we still have walls in between these curtains. So that is the very first thing we are going to fix up. I'm going to hide all of the objects except for walls. Just using this button down here makes everything a little bit more transparent and a little bit easier to see, and that way we can ensure that I don't have this problem anywhere else in my hospital. These ones are all clear. These ones are all clear. Those ones are almost all clear. One left. I'm sure you guys would have picked that one up in the comments, but I think that is our floor plan for this part of the hospital actually finalized now. So that is fantastic. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to successfully finish the other two events here, granting us a nice $50,000 government grant. And once we've done that, we're going to come back and we are going to start work on our next department and therefore our next floor. Hospital looking quite clean from the outside, by the way. I just wanted to point that out real quick. If we spin it around, what's the button to spin it around again? I've forgotten the button to spin it around. I thought it was brackets. Yeah, it is. It is brackets. Cool. Square brackets to spin the hospital around. We're looking pretty good. I like the layout of our hospital so far. We are going to get bigger and bigger for sure. But for now, we are going to jump straight into a time lapse, get these other two events successfully completed. I'll probably wait till morning to start those, and then we will go from there. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right, before we get into doing these events, I just wanted to address a couple of issues we have here. In the emergency department, we have people who can't wash their hands and can't dry their hands, and the pathology department doesn't actually have a lead. So we should probably fix that up real quick. I actually don't know if either of these guys have the good leader trait. You do not, and you do not, but honestly, it's just the two of them. So I think they'll be fine with basically anyone. They're not going to get the good boss trait, but I think they'll be fine. As for the emergency room not being able to wash their hands, we are going to have to investigate that. We definitely have 3 hand washers in there. Where are they complaining that they can't wash their hands? It might be to do with the trauma center potentially. They do have the, what's it called? Disinfectant dispenser there. That bathroom's fine. Can I show things? No, I cannot. That's not a bathroom. This bathroom is missing equipment because it's actually not a bathroom. That is an elevator. But we can probably go ahead and remove the bathroom off of that so that people aren't, trying to wash their hands in the elevator. That's probably not a fantastic idea for them to be doing. Now that we actually have our elevators in, we no longer require those markers. And I'll just make sure that that is not the case upstairs as well. And it is not, so that's not the problem. In here, we definitely have hand dryers in there. The problem might be that we don't have enough of them, or it might be to do with the trauma center. So if we click into here, we definitely have the disinfectant dispenser. We have one there as well, so they are being used. I am wondering though if it's worth putting another one on the other side of the door. I think one will fit if we throw it that way as well, and I like to put the biohazard bins underneath them. We'll see if that fixes the problem. Otherwise, I'm not 100% sure where the issue is lying, unless it is in the common room itself where we have the kitchen sink, but no hand dryer. Is that possible? If we jump onto the bathroom here and we say throw in a hand dryer towards the door there, because I think we actually have a kitchen sink in most of our common rooms. We'll throw another one on that door and see if that maybe helps the problem. I'm not 100% sure. Couldn't dry hands and couldn't wash hands. they should be able to do both of those things. So I'm not sure what that's about, but we're going to jump back into the time lapse and I'll do these events and then we'll recheck on those things. All right, that is that event successfully complete. Another $20,000 in our pocket. That successfully completes our objective and unlocks the next one, which is to finish 3 epidemic events in a row. We are going to hold off on that for the moment because, like I said at the start of the video, we are going to start working on the next floor, which I think is going to be Orthopedics. And I'm kind of excited for it. I think it's going to be good. I think we'll end up using this area down the bottom for surgical suites in the ICU area, and then we'll use this area over here for things like CT scans, MRIs, X-rays, all of that stuff that Orthopedics is going to require. So first things first, we need to build the next floor. And that is done simply by going to Foundation Operations and add new floor. Now for this one, I do actually want to copy the floor tiles and the walls from the current top floor, because that is basically going to build this entire thing for me. Now, this isn't final because we are going to need to go dynamite everything. No, we just want to bulldoze walls and objects, and I want to bulldoze everything in here and everything in here, because these 2 rooms are going to be specialized for this department. But everything up here can basically stay the same. The only thing that might change slightly is these rooms here, and I actually don't remember what those rooms are. Yeah, potentially these rooms up here as well will change. But for the rest of it, that is going to be basically how it looks. So I will remove these windows and just give ourselves a nice blank slate to start with. So that should be fine. We'll jump back into our walls, and I'm going to, for the moment, just make this inside here all blank walls, this inside here all blank walls. And as for the floor, I think I'm just going to add a white floor in here for the moment, and we can fix up whatever we need to fix up later on. But the main reason that I want to do this, and I think I will actually do this over here as well, is because these may change from floor to floor. And I have a little bit of a plan how to make this easier in the long run, because this is costing us more money than we need to be spending. So I'll remove these walls, this wall, and this wall. And then again, I'm just going to make this floor in here nice and white so it looks at least finished, even though no one can get in there. That should be good. I just need to rotate the camera around and make sure that we don't have anything like this left laying about. And of course we do. So we'll fix up that little bit of floor there and this little bit of wall there. And that should be everything all said and done. And now the interesting thing that we can actually do is go ahead and build a new floor. I'm going to build this new floor, and we are not going to use it, but it's going to have this exact same layout ready for the next department when we do eventually add it. So that is the plan. We will be building on this floor. This floor is just sort of our blank template. And then as for the wards and stuff, we can basically just copy and paste them over, right? So we can go ahead and grab ourselves pretty much everything in this whole section. I don't think there's anything in the hallways that we need to copy. So we'll grab that entire section and hopefully be able to throw it down. No. The reason I think that is the case is because of our elevators, which is a little bit annoying, but not impossible to deal with. So in that case, we just go up to the back of the elevators, copy that, and we can't throw that down. What? I took one too many tiles. Let me try that again. To the back of the elevators this time. Go up, and there we go. Now we can throw that down. And wait for the game to load, because that was a lot of objects placed at once. Perfect. And then we can go back down, and we can just basically do the same thing, but for all of the stuff that is in between the elevators. Now we have basically our entire orthopedic department all laid out and ready to go. The only thing that we need to do is come in and switch all this over from the internal medicine department to the department that it actually is. So we are going to be going with orthopedic, and thankfully most of the stuff here is labeled. We can just very quickly switch it all over. So I know this was waiting room in here. We'll get that done. I'm going to come back, lay all this out, make sure everything is correctly designated to the appropriate things that it needs to be, and we'll be back in a little bit. And with that, the whole floor should nicely light up green. The only things where we need to actually make some changes are going to be in the orthopedic offices, as well as the diagnostics unit. Apparently the sonography units are all working fine. And the other thing we don't have is a lounge, but that is something that I'm going to design and work out, I think, once this is all up and running. So I guess the next thing to do, let's go ahead and look at what is actually required in here. So it looks like we don't need any of this surgical stuff. So we can basically just go through and gut these rooms. I believe to there and to there and to there. Get rid of them and we will rebuild these from the ground up. So I will go ahead and do that and we'll be back in a little bit. And that should pretty much do it for that room. So we can basically just go ahead and copy and okay, game, thank you. We copy and paste that over a couple of times and that should be that dealt with. Go ahead and rotate my camera back around to the correct standing. And then we just need to go ahead and edit these doctor's offices. Looks like the only thing they require is an EMG machine. I am going to put that somewhere. The question is, where do we need that? I'll actually get rid of a lot of this equipment. We'll take that and get rid of that, take that and get rid of that, and I'll do the same thing in the other offices as well. And then if we need them, we can always go ahead and re-add them, but for right now they're taking up space that I'm not 100% sure if we need or not, so we'll get rid of them. And it'll be as simple as that. And then we can add whatever we need back in. So it looks like we didn't need all three of those tests. The only thing that we did need was the CRP scan. So I will go ahead and add that back in with an equipment cabinet right next to this table here. That can go right about there. And then we'll go ahead and add a square table in the corner there with an EMG on the side. And that is going to require a stool that doesn't fit. That's unfortunate. I really don't know what is blocking it on that corner there, but we might have to rebuild these rooms from the ground up, just so that I can actually see what is going on. So I'll figure out a layout for these rooms and we'll be back in a little bit. I might add the EMG machine in first so that we know we definitely have the room for it. And if you move things around enough times, you can get these things to fit. They're a little bit tight, but you know what? I think it's going to work just fine. We'll throw that down there, throw that there, and throw that there. And if we jump back into this menu, this whole thing should now be lit up like a Christmas tree. Everything is functional. The only thing left to do here is go ahead and hire a whole bunch of staff. And of course, also build our specialized testing. For that testing, I am going to want a few things. I believe the orthopedic department does use MRIs and it does use CTs. So I'm thinking maybe we build in... Well, you know what I am thinking? I think maybe we should build in a X-ray room down here with its own little waiting room just for clinic patients. And then we build in, I don't know, like 3 more X-ray machine rooms just for hospitalized patients, because that is going to be used quite often, and then we'll throw down a CT room and an MRI room. That should just about cut it for this floor, and then of course we are also going to need to design ourselves a surgical suite. So I'm going to start off with the little clinic-based x-ray room, and I think that can probably just go right at the end of this hallway. If we do a 5x4 waiting area there, and we grab ourselves an x-ray room that is 5x10 seems like it should be enough, and I probably end up putting 2 of those in there just so that we definitely have enough. I'll go ahead and design these out, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so this is our little clinic area for our x-rays. Nice and close to the doctors so they don't have to, travel all the way down here to get to that. And I think that will work out quite nicely. And honestly, we can probably copy and paste these x-ray rooms down to here. Or we could just copy the ones that we already have down here, because we do also have the MRI room, but it is a little bit smaller, so maybe we don't. These honestly are probably a little bit too big. Let's just maybe make our own. I think the best way to lay this out is going to be to have a corridor running directly through the center of it. So this is 26, which means that it's 13, I believe. That's 13 to there and 14 to there. So yeah, this would be the center. If we did a 4 wide corridor there, that would give us rooms that are 11 wide, which is more than enough. So I think that is how we will break that up. I think I will make this corridor part of the radiology department. That makes the most sense to me. That way we can have a cleaning floor or cleaning cupboard on this floor. And then we just basically need a bunch of rooms. So if we do, I don't know, 11 by 6, seems like it would be more than enough room for an x-ray machine and basically any other machine that we might need. So if we do 3 x-ray machines for the start, and we do a CT room and an MRI room, something like that, then we can also go ahead and put in a restroom down here for these employees, a common room for these employees, and a cleaning closet for this little section here. So if we did, that's 6. How big are my other cleaning closets? I think they're like 4 by 6, right? Yeah, 4 by 6. That would fit in there. And then we can throw down our restroom. There is a 7 by 6. And then I would like to come down to the ground floor and grab one of our square, what's it called? Common rooms, and copy that over. So we'll grab this one here and hope that it fits. It leaves a 2 gap. That's a little bit unfortunate. I was really hoping that that would just fit, but we can make this room a little bit bigger and add some more stuff in, I suppose. So we'll throw that down there. Jump back into our radiology department. Grab ourselves the common room, make this all common room, and then we'll go ahead and fix up that wall in a little bit. But this is the general plan for the radiology department down here. We'll have a nice little cleaning room back here that no one can actually get into, unless we have a room that goes, like a door that goes through the bathroom, which I guess is fine. They can make sure they clean the bathroom first. We'll fix that. We'll figure that out. And I think that'll be fine. And then we have plenty more room if we need to add any more testing up here, or labs, or whatever it is that we may require. So I'll jump into another quick little time lapse as we get this all built out, and we'll be back in a little bit. And that is all of our testing rooms. They are pretty much all identical, just varying the machine that is in them and the viewer that is in them. Next up, we need to, well, firstly, we should probably go ahead and remove this wall so that people can actually get in here. And this corridor should match the rest of the hospital. So we'll fix that up first. And then we'll move on to both the common room and our bathrooms down here. And now this bathroom is going to have somewhat of a strange design with an extra door at the very end. So we'll grab a normal white door that is black, which sounds funny. And then we'll go ahead and add a restricted area door back here for the cleaning closet itself. So I'll get these two rooms built out and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, that is the bathroom and the cleaning closet done. The only thing left to do here is go ahead and adjust this common room so that it makes a little bit more sense with the space that we have available to us, and also just fix up this wall that doesn't need to be painted. And of course, go ahead and add in a door for them to enter. And you know what? One more obligatory, if I can find decorations, one more obligatory bamboo plant right in there. And you know what, we should probably also have a disinfectant dispenser in here as well, just to make sure that everyone is, you know, clean and washing their hands. So that should be that sorted. Next up is going to be the surgical suite, and this will be in orthopedy, and we need to go for an operating room. Now, we are also going to add a nurse's station and an on-call room to this operating theater so that we have a dedicated team who is just doing surgery. So I think that is going to look something like, if we do this by 8, that's probably not going to be wide enough for both the nurse's station and the doctors. How big is this? This is 26. So that would make it 10. Yeah, let's go for a little bit bigger just so we have a little bit more room. How wide is this? This is 37. Okay, that's an odd number. If we make it 36 and we just have an extra one somewhere, I think that might work out. So that would make them 12 wide, and we could fit, you know, 3 in here, and we shouldn't need more than 3 operating rooms for this area. We can just make that last one when we do finally build it, assuming that it gets built, one wider, and I think that will work out. We could even have just a lip on the edge of the hospital as a little bit more of a detail. I think that will be fine. And then for the nurses and the doctors, we'll go for nurses out here, and they will be 5 by, well, we should probably do it the other way around. 5 by, if we make that a hallway that is 3 wide, that works. And then we'll throw in the on-call room 5 by 9 there. And this will simply just be corridor. Whoops, corridor, like that. And that is the plan there. So this will be our operating theater. We'll have a scrub-in station at the front here, the actual operating theater at the back, some, you know, wheelchairs and stretchers and things of that nature all along there, and that should work out quite nicely. So let's go ahead and jump back into another time lapse as we get the operating theaters all set up. All right, so that is our on-call rooms, and now I think I actually really quite like this design. We have three computers here for the doctors, 2 for the nurses, and that is all we need for a surgical team. And they have nice, easy access to this hallway that I did actually end up changing from a corridor to be part of the operating suite itself. And I think that's going to work out quite nicely. The only thing that I'm slightly concerned about is because this is a shared room between everyone, it should still count as the orthopedic department and should therefore get cleaned alongside the orthopedic department. But we don't really have anywhere down here that is super close to this to make sure it gets cleaned efficiently. So I'm wondering if we should potentially add that in somewhere in here, like maybe cut off a little section in the operating theater itself to act as a cleaning station, so that we have dedicated employees cleaning our operating theaters and making sure they are neat and tidy. I'm going to start laying this out in a time lapse either way, and once this is somewhat laid out, we'll have a better idea of how much room we have. We should have plenty of room in here, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna start laying this out in a time lapse, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so this is the basic layout of our surgical suite. It's way oversized, but I kind of like the vibes that I'm getting here. And then we can go ahead and add in our cleaning room down here that will act as the dedicated cleaning room for our actual surgical suite. So what we will do here is throw in our cleaning closet, and 7x4 is probably more than enough. And I think I will end up actually deleting these walls here and just replacing them with solid walls. And I think that will work out quite nicely and look quite good. I'm not going to allow direct access into here, but they can walk through here if they would like to. So this is going to be a restricted area, and we'll go ahead and basically just build out a simple little cleaning closet for in here with some nice, cabinets and things like that. I think it just makes a little bit of a difference in the long run, especially with things like the plastic hamper, disinfectant dispenser in there, and then we can line this back wall in the surgical suite with some more decoration and stuff too. So I'll go ahead and decorate these rooms out, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, that should pretty much do it. We have a full operational surgical suite. The only thing left to do now is go ahead and hire some employees, and that is going to be a lot of hiring, so get ready for another time lapse. But before we get into that, let me just double check that we definitely have everything. We have 17 restrooms, 2 common rooms, we have corridors, reception, waiting room, orthopedic offices, diagnostic units, regular ward, HDU, on-call room, nurses station, sonography unit. We don't have a lounge yet, that's fine, and we have the operating room. So I'm going to start with hiring for the operating room, and I'm going to give everyone in the operating room their very own jobs. So we will have one with surgeon, one with anesthesiologist, and one who is just a regular doctor. They will be the assistant. And then as for the nurses, we will have both of the nurses be surgery nurses, and that should fill out this quite nicely. The only thing that I am considering now that I'm looking at this is these guys don't have easy access to a bathroom, even a little bit. They, to go to the bathroom, would have to come at least to here. Oh, I guess they actually have in here, so that's probably going to be fine. We'll leave that as it is, and I will jump into the time lapse as we get this entire floor hired. Take note that we currently have 210 employees, so this will be an interesting measure as to how many employees it takes to fully hire out a floor. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so that is our surgical team hired. As you can see, we have one surgeon, one anesthesiologist, and one assist, and 2 medical nurses day and night. And then for these guys, I set them up to only clean the operating theater. So that is their only job, and that is the one job that they will have. They will make sure this room is clean at all times. I considered also assigning them to the on-call rooms, but I'm going to leave that as it is for now. I'm going to get on with hiring the rest of this floor out, and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I think that floor is completely finished. That is 293 employees total, which means we just hired 83 people, I believe. So we hired all of our radiologists, some cleaners for that, and then in our orthopedic department, we hired 2 janitors for specifically the operating theater, a full surgical team. We hired actually 4 janitors full-time because we have 2 in both of these cleaning stations. We had a slew of doctors. We only have 3 clinic doctors during the day, during the night. We have 4 during the day, 2 receptionists, and then a slew of nurses. We have 4 patient care nurses and 6 patient transfer nurses. And then as for our doctors, these ones are all restricted to only doing diagnostics, and we have 6 of them, as well as our USG, I think this sonography unit techs. So that should be a functional orthopedic department. And I mean, much quicker to build than any of the others. We still have $268,000 in the bank. I think we started with something close to like 1.4 million. So that's going to be good. We're also going to be able to finish our Perform 1 surgeries. So without further ado, I think this is ready to go. The only thing that I did notice while I was playing around in here is if we hide all of our things again, somewhere there are walls where there shouldn't be walls. Right here. These need to be solid. And that is the only thing that I noticed as I was building this out. That was a mistake. So we'll go ahead and throw that in as a solid wall and rotate the camera around, make sure the other side isn't the same. It is, of course. And that should be good. That should also be solid. And I think we're good to go. Let me just do a quick double check of all our walls here. That one is supposed to be solid as well, I believe. That should be solid. Rotate the camera around, figure out where that was. I think it was that one, so that's fine. That's solid, that's solid. I think we're good. Let me know in the comments if I have missed any walls, because I'm sure that I have somewhere. But that should be it. That should be good to go. And we should be ready to press play and see if we don't get a patient coming in. Of course, we can have a patient collapsing, but our doctors should be able to handle that just fine. If we go to all patients, we should very soon see our very first orthopedic patient and hopefully our very first surgery. Again, someone is collapsing. Can we diagnose them real quick? Yes, they have heparin-induced thrombocytopenia, apparently. So you have that. We'll let everyone know that that is what's going on there. And I guess now it's just a waiting game until we get our first orthopedic patient. We will follow them around, make sure that it is all working as intended. Let me just double check where we are critical here. Honestly, I'm not actually sure. Orthopedic, sexual health, no. Okay, the administration department has a critical room. What room is that? Oh, wow. Our workload in our pharmacy is actually critical. So we should probably go ahead and add a new computer in there just to make sure that we can actually handle the workload. And I'm actually going to move this lamp across to there and add 2 more computers in here. Grab 2 more stools and, of course, 2 more or 4 more pharmacists to deal with that. That should be nice and simple to do. We'll just go ahead and hire anyone who looks like they have decent attributes. I'm not too concerned as long as I don't get the ones that I don't like. So that should be fine. We probably also don't require 5 pharmacists at nighttime, but you know what? We have so much money, I'm going to let that stand. So let's go ahead, jump into a time lapse and wait for our first orthopedic patient. There he is, Christopher Davis. Come on down. So we are going to follow you. Apparently, if you hold control, you can actually zoom in even further. So let's do that and just follow this guy in and see where he wants to go. We're probably a little bit too far in. So he's coming in with either knee osteoarthritis or knee bursitis. That's fine. He should just come into reception, wait for a doctor, be called in, and we are going to run a physical exam on him. He has knee bursitis, so the Simple solution to that is corticosteroid injections. That is going to require him to be hospitalized. He's going to pay us a cool $2,400. He is getting transported to treatment, which is going to be in one of our treatment rooms. That's a little bit of a further walk than I would like, but I think it's going to be fine. He should get that treatment in absolutely no time and be on his way. Do we have any more interesting patients that we can take a look at in here? We have rheumatoid arthritis, knee bursitis, Brooke Garcia. We don't have a diagnosis on you just yet, but you might be coming in with something a little bit interesting. Patient numbers and everything is back to normal. I'm going to move this down here and open up your symptoms. So you probably have spondylosis. And let's have a look at that. That is going to require a Boston brace. I'm not 100% sure if that is a surgery or not. I don't think it is. But that is definitely what you have. So let's go ahead and diagnose you so my doctors don't make any mistakes. And we'll wait for our first patient, to have a surgery required. All right, we've got ourselves a breaking news alert. A major incident has been declared. A significant earthquake has hit the region and has caused major damage to property as well as causing a large number of injuries. We will go ahead and accept this. I'm not going to take over my patients, but we will keep an eye on how they're doing, and we'll keep an eye on our timer, and we'll go from there. We also have someone in with hand bursitis. That's again just corticosteroid injections. No surgery required for that one, but potentially this incident here could potentially... Why are we seeing... Is that everyone on the... No, it's not. That's way too many people for this. Okay, so we may potentially see some of these guys come in with surgeries required. Let's go ahead and open up our patient list again. We have a deep wound on the foot. That requires a wound closure, which I believe is a... Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a surgery. That's unfortunate. I really hope we got our first surgery there. Mandible fracture, maybe a surgery. Yeah, there we go. Fracture, surgery, head. So we are going to follow you around, my friend. Christopher Williams, coming in through our events, is in dire need of some surgery. So let's see if we can sort him out. He's currently waiting to be transported to the room, which is taking longer than I would like, but there he goes. He will, for now, just get regular hospitalization. That's fine. Send him on up. I also need to redo the floors in our elevators at some point. Now he is waiting to go for a x-ray of his head. That is absolutely fine. No overstressed rooms, which is fantastic. For some reason, they are taking him downstairs. Oh no. Yeah, where is he? Why did he go downstairs for that? Let me just quickly check up here. I don't actually know if I set these rooms up correctly. If I come in here, yeah, no, these guys should only be doing hospitalized patients. No clinic patients allowed in any of these rooms. These are for hospitalized patients only, please. So that one is hospitalized, that one is hospitalized, that one is hospitalized, and that one is hospitalized. That should help out a little bit, but it also might be the fact, no, that's definitely not closer than where he went. So that is interesting. Let's try and open him back up. Where did I find him? He was in the patient list of our orthopedic department, and it was Christopher Williams that we are looking for. Go ahead and refollow him. Zoom in nice and close so we can see what is happening. He is getting an x-ray downstairs. I mean, all our x-ray machines work the same, so it's not really going to be an issue. It's just strange that they would take him down here in the first place. So that is done. We still have one hidden symptom. I mean, I just want him to get his surgery, so let's go ahead and schedule that in for him. And hopefully someone will come up and do that. Being transported back to the room. Hopefully there's no more tests to run. We can also give him like all of the other things that he might possibly need. We actually did perform a surgery and we missed it, but that's fine. We'll continue on with Christopher Williams here. Our next thing is to reach 80% at any specialized department. We should do that at the end of the day, so that is absolutely no problem at all. You have a wrong diagnosis. We're going to have to work on you because you will now need a x-ray because we have the orthopedic department unlocked. And he is now being transported to treatment, which I hope is the surgical suite. Throw him down on the bed, wait for our doctors to come in. They should nicely perform his surgery. Hopefully there are no complications. Then he should be pretty much ready to go home, and all he'll require to pay us is a cool $10,000. Who are we waiting on here? We currently have cure patients 86%, but everyone has a tick next to their name. I don't know why that is the case. That seems strange. Are you on our list? No, you're not, so we don't really care. But his surgery seems to have gone well. That has been completed. Another patient is collapsing. Make sure she's not on our list. No, she's not. We're at 93%. I imagine that's because this guy is still healing. We have 14 hours left. Let's just quickly take a look at our patient list over here. That opened up Peter Scott for some reason. It's not going to tell me who these guys are. So we have, who is it? Casey Moore should be in here somewhere. They might have already been sent home. We have Nancy Hernandez here. It looks like she is still just being treated for some things. That's fine. Christopher Williams we're just looking at. Mark Hall is in here as well, still getting treated for a couple of things. And Sarah Miller is also just waiting on a couple of things. So that should be that event completed, I hope. And it looks like our orthopedic department is working wonders. I basically just hired the exact same amount of people that I hired in the internal medicine department. We can go from there. It's probably more than we need, but you know me. I'd rather go big and have everything run really quite smoothly than go too small and have to diagnose nitpicky little problems. So with that being said, I think we will jump into a time lapse to end the episode. Just make sure that we don't have any more major issues coming up in our orthopedic department. And then next episode, I think I would like to design some really nice lounges for both this floor and the internal medicine department floor, and get those up and running so that we can have gift shops, we can have patients have people visit them, which in turn should hopefully raise morale. So I'm going to let this run until, I don't know, midday tomorrow as an arbitrary amount of time to make sure that we don't have any issues, and we will go from there. All right, pausing quickly because we do have one room that is critical, and that is our operating theatre. And I sort of suspected that a little bit. If we have a look at our planned surgeries, we currently have 4 on the books. I still am going to run this until midday tomorrow just to double check that that is still an issue. If it is, it's a nice simple fix. We can just basically copy and paste this operating theatre over, go ahead and rehire anyone we need to hire. But until then, I will see you at midday tomorrow. Okay, we're starting to get a whole bunch of people complain about long waits for surgery. It doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like we are getting through those patients nice and quickly, so we're going to continue on with the time lapse. We'll reassess from there. I probably will go ahead and add a second operating room and a second operating team, but I just want to check how that is because we did do that event, so some of those results may have been a little bit skewed, but we don't have any critical rooms, which is a good thing. All right, it is officially midday. We did a whole bunch of things all at once here with the Liver TY insurance company. Our next task is to do 10 surgeries, and then we'll be on to the final bonus objective. Of course, we still need to work on those epidemics, but before we finish this episode, I am going to do what I said and go ahead and add an extra surgical suite, just because I think that is going to be a fantastic idea. The other thing that we need to do is make sure that we actually have 3 bucket cuts in here. Not that we actually need 3 bucket cuts, I just like the symmetry of it. So we're going to have 3 bucket cuts in there. We'll go ahead and hire this team. And the other thing that I wanted to fix is our floors, because the elevators didn't carry their floors up. Whenever you place an elevator in, it sort of redoes the flooring for you, which is a little bit annoying, and it also redoes the walls. So we'll fix that as well, but as soon as we get that done, we should be ready to rock and roll with our second surgery department. So we'll grab ourselves our walls here, go ahead and place those in so our hospital's looking nice and clean. There and there, rotate the camera around twice, do the other side as well, and like so. And while we're here, I may as well go ahead and add flooring to the elevators. I think I'm just going to use the same as the corridors. I think that will probably look the best, and that can be nicely simply done just like so. We're going to have to do this on all the floors, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, I think that is all of that fixed up, so we can go ahead and start hiring our second surgical team. I am going to go ahead and hire more janitors in here as well and dedicate them solely to this operating theater. And I think that is going to be a fantastic idea, because as soon as their surgeries are finished, even while the patient is still laying here, our janitors are coming up and cleaning. So that's definitely increasing the rate at which we can get surgeries done. So that is absolutely something that I'm interested in doing. We'll go ahead and hire you. I don't think they need to be particularly talented at this job for this to work. So we'll go ahead and add you to there as well. And then I will go ahead and hire our doctors and nurses. All right, with that taken care of, we should be able to chug through the scheduled surgeries, even though there are currently none, at a record pace. We still have 4 out of 10 surgeries to go, but we might have to deal with that in the next episode. If you guys notice anything that I have missed, or if you just want to engage with this video, make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. Leave a like if you haven't already, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and consider becoming a member or buying some merch. Links are all down in the description. But until next time, happy building, happy doctoring. Bye, guys.